Hey everybody, I just finished fire ceremony and I wanted to say a couple words about ceremony in general. Because there were some interruptions in the flow tonight for our solstice ceremony. Just people arriving late and leaving early. And I don't want to chastise anybody or shame anybody ever. And, certainly I'm not personally offended that that happened. But this does feel like an opportunity to just describe what happens in ceremony and make it a kind of teachable moment. So, ceremony has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And it's important, if you're interested in committing to being at ceremony, it's important to remember that each part is equally important. So, in the beginning of ceremony, you might get instructions or some teachings, and sacred space is going to be opened. There's going to be an invocation. And what that invocation does is it brings everybody into the same mindset. Everybody's sort of in the same space, right? We kind of step into the container of the ceremony together. So if you arrive late, not only might you miss some instructions or some context, but you're also sort of breaching that sacred space. You're sort of entering into a space and creating distraction and interrupting the kind of flow and mindset that everybody's already in. So it's important to show up on time. The middle of the ceremony is where we're doing the work. So whatever is the intention of the ceremony, if we think about a wedding, it's the middle of the ceremony where the vows and the rings happen, right? Or if it's a baptism or a christening, the middle part of the ceremony is where we're pouring the water. So the middle of the ceremony is where the work is. So it's important to be there to do the work, or else what's the point? And then the end of the ceremony is just as important, because the end of the ceremony is our transition out of that container, transition out of sacred space and back into ordinary life. And so it's sort of like the punctuation on the end of a sentence. And if you're not there for that, then it's sort of like energetically like you have an ellipse, right? You're the sort of dot, dot, dot instead of the period or the exclamation point. So each part of ceremony is equally important. And if you're committing to being at ceremony, please make sure that you're there for the entire thing. Again, it's not so much about hurting the feelings of the facilitator. It's about making sure that it's a great experience for you, a complete experience. And it's also a humble thing to be there for the whole experience, because if you show up late, you're interrupting the flow. If you leave early, you're interrupting the flow, and you're distracting the other people in the ceremony. So it's just not good manners or good community etiquette. So please, if you decide to come to ceremony with me or with anybody else, commit to being there on time and staying through for the duration. It's really the best way to get the full experience and make the changes that you want to make in your life. So thank you for hearing me. Thank you for listening and for your attention. And happy solstice. Good night.